Hey anyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Abhi on Camera, where tonight we're watching Percy Jackson and the Olympians, episode 2. In case you need the reminder, I've seen this episode already because I went to the New York premiere and I went to a screening in LA, so this isn't going to be my first time watching like it usually is for the rest of my videos, but it will be fun to see nonetheless. If you enjoy this episode, consider hitting the like button. If you want to see more of my content, consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you don't want to do either, then let's just get into the episode.
You drool when you sleep.
See, this is those details. Even as they change broad details, they know what details to keep to make this feel like Percy Jackson. Like, that's Annabeth's first line.
Your job is done.
That's interesting.
Where are you going?
That they seem to have changed it for the show. In the book, Grover is he's actually in trouble because the screw up with the mom dying meant that his mission wasn't really that successful, and right, the Council of Cloven Elders, he was in trouble with the Council of Cloven Elders and all that. But in the show, it seems more like he's beating himself up rather than like he's in trouble externally. Peter Johnson is here.
It isn't
Love that. I hope he keeps screwing up the name.
or at the office or Mr. D.
And this, I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, or I'll mention it in now. You can see how Grover's wearing shorts, Arian's wearing shorts.
He's starting with
And it's like little details like that show how the budget of this TV show is lower than that of the movie, because you have so many shots like this where you're hiding the CGI goat legs, because then you don't have to spend money on the CGI goat legs. You just have to make clip-cloppy noises. When I'm pretty sure in the book, he didn't wear pants. I mean, this makes a little bit more sense,
my dad. Maybe around
but still. This Dionysus is so much less of a constantly grumpy, like, alcoholic in withdrawal, which was what he was in the books.
Chateau O'Brien.
And then that wouldn't have worked in the books, because if he had touched alcohol in the books, it would have just turned to water.
This is a nice moment.
Chiron looks so good. And it's so... And the proportions are a little weird too, right? Yeah, I just like re-recorded the movie for a video I'm going to make. And if you look at that, at the movie's Chiron, the sizing is totally different. He's a much smaller horse compared to the human body.
You're a horse.
And it looks like the horse is completely CGI. While this Chiron, as he walks around, and from, I think I heard the story, he's riding an actual horse. And what you see when you see his entire body is a blending of the actor and the actual horse he was riding on. I love that. 2 sentences to succinctly, like, shrink down a number, like a whole bunch of what is it, like background info.
Don't overthink it.
And this,
Yeah.
there's a little harshness there. Dionysus seems a little bit extra goofy, but the harshness, the edge, still exists, and he's drinking his Diet Coke. And like I said, Arian is doing a great job of showing a Grover that's beating himself up more than a Grover who's in trouble by someone else. And I like that, because it gives Grover a more personal reason for helping, rather than like, oh, they're gonna mess me up for my career path. That Camp Half-Blood looks beautiful. The movie is so just cramped.
Check the 12 Olympian gods.
It's so beautiful. I mean, it's come to life
To the
in a way that I never could have expected. I mean,
Great.
you know, did anyone else do this when they were imagining the U? Or does anyone like imagining the cabins were in like a flat land area? Because that's how I always imagined it. Then I'm like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be like in a wooded area?
be next week.
But it's so good. It's so beautiful. And it's so much better than that trash attempt of whatever they were doing in the movie.
He still wants nothing.
To say I'm really sorry.
He's a nice guy. The guy who plays Luke. I think I kind of shoved him aside when I was trying to take the picture at the LA screening. And I really like this, how they like altered it. It's I don't know if Luke is still the counselor for this cabin, and he may still be, but like allowing him to reach out to Percy without like, oh, he's just a counselor, that's his job, is a great way to start establishing that friendship early before, you know, the end of the end of the series where he'll turn evil. And then like cut a little bit more deeper. This is cool. I mean, you've introduced a brand new character, a dryad who might be Grover's mother, maybe? Or dryad? Do dryads give birth to satyrs, right? I think so. Which makes me curious. You always have been hard on yourself. What is he going to feel about the whole like Luke and Annabeth and Talia, his last mission, right? Is that counted as a failure, or is that also a success and he's just beating himself up over it? He's been regretting her death all this time. Of this, getting to see the Council of Cloven Elders. The fact that they built such a elaborate set tells me that there's gonna be a larger scene with that. And they're not gonna build all of that just to have him walk in and cut it away.
Is gonna tell him anything.
I don't know how to start these without keep saying this is interesting, but there's a difference here in that these adults they're trying to angle against Percy knowing, when in the book Chiron did want Percy to go on this quest.
Do you understand?
I really want to see Jason Mantzoukas do the Dionysus like eyes of death stare thing. I really appreciate too that they've kept the dreams, though I can't remember, but they seem to. There's no horse fighting bird, or maybe that'll happen later. And that, knowing how the book is, that's a very interesting thing. How Luke reaches out immediately after a dream about Kronos.
Recurring night and ADHD.
And like I said last episode, I see Luke here, and I just want to see the end. I fast forward to the last episode where he turns out to be a bad guy. I want to see that.
Am I Hermes' mother?
I want to see Backbiter. That's for sure.
That doesn't matter. They used to call it Kleos.
I'm not
It's like this stuff that
the glory. It's like the stuff that attaches his name.
scary.
I don't like it. I feel like it might have been something that they did kind of discuss in like the second book because of all that chariot races and stuff, but I don't know. It's like, hey, look, we do this for glory glory. You know, like, oh man, you got 2 glory points for going on that quest. It's like, I don't know, it just feels phrased weird. Oh, and more importantly, Clarice. This too, you have Luke here taking on the role of guiding Percy through camp from Annabeth or Chiron. Like, Chiron was the one who did this archery instruction in the books, and giving Luke the role, like I said once already, it deepens the friendship with Percy so that his betrayal in the end hurts so much deeper. I remember the first time I tried archery on like some science camp, and I don't know how, but I had such luck that I had 3 shots and I got them all bullseye. Never been able to do that again whenever I tried archery. We have Festus cabin. Leo. I don't think we'll ever see Leo at this point. To be a bit cynical, I really don't think we'll ever see Leo.
Greek god of disappointment.
This area looks really nice and great. Just you know, they don't have the same effect of like the various cabins. I can't speak. The separate cabin tables.
This isn't that car.
This is such a touching and
You're sitting down.
lovely conversation, and it's so real, right? Ignoring the whole canned fire, all that stuff, but that, right? Like, hey, actually, this place isn't so bad, and it's such a great thing.
Didn't you?
I mean, this is Camp Half-Blood, not Camp God. I don't know why he would be here.
Ignoring me. guys? Can't sleep, huh?
Of that transition. And honestly, this makes so much more sense than the book. In the book, there's just that blatant bullying in the middle of the day as they just grab him and shove him into the toilet. It makes more sense that they grab him and do this at night.
Minotaur.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. He didn't make anything up. Grover's the one who brought him in here, telling the stories. And, you know, holding the Minotaur horn. What do you think he got that from? Walker plays this so well. Just the abject confusion, like, huh? What just is, huh? What just happened here?
She said she'd been waiting.
3 straight wins. Been a long time since anyone's won a 4. See, I don't like this. This was kind of confusing. The point Annabeth was so interested in Percy was because Clarice is the Ares team was winning several times in a row. They were the ones winning. That's why you wanted Percy to distract Clarice. But at this point, you've already won 3 times, and it's like, ooh, but I won a 4th in a row, and it's like, eh.
Thalia. The Forbidden Kid attracts trouble. Monsters everywhere, just...
Forbidden Kid is certainly more succinct than Child of the Big 3.
Yeah.
And also, did anyone else, like, as they were reading the books, not know whether it was Talia or Thalia? I mean, yes, I was saying in my head Thalia, but then I talked to other people, and they were like, no, what are you talking about? It's Talia. It was so confused.
Thalia didn't make it, but Annabeth and me,
I mean, she's that tree over there, but
we did.
this is also, like, bringing that backstory much earlier and rearrangement.
Is the strongest warrior in camp.
Wonder if Annabeth will tell the story differently
Used to go on a quest.
in, like, the truck,
This has to do with me.
or, I don't know, we'll see.
The first team
Beautiful. I mean, just absolutely
shall
beautiful. The movie was fine, but like, look at this. This is truly brought to life. The orange shirts, the armor, the weapons, bronze weapons. They haven't even mentioned the word celestial bronze yet, but it's so, I love it so much.
It's okay.
Interesting too, speaking of the weapons, how that they seem to be more varieties, right? Like on the Ares team, there are a couple people who seem to be holding like large kukris.
We have 20 minutes before the... Now you, Sunshine.
Greed again. I mean, just that, like little movements and the group movements. It's like, could you imagine a decade from now if we got to see the war between Camp Half-Blood and Camp Jupiter? I mean, seriously, like throw that some Lord of the Rings budget. I only hope that Disney's like, okay, you did well, just take all the money.
You know, you still don't get where you fit into all this, do you?
No, why would he? He doesn't think, he doesn't know Clarice well enough to know that she'll come after him for revenge.
Wait, what?
I know it.
Oh God, every time. On one hand, for being my age, that's cringy. On the other hand, you really got to understand that this is made not for me. It's not for the Percy Jackson fans who have read the books and grown up. It's made for the Percy Jackson fans who are still 6, 7, 8-year-olds. 12, that young. It's made for kids that young. Bear McCreary. I love Bear McCreary's music. I'm a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the God of the War. He's so good. The choreography of this is great as well. In the movies, like, Percy was, like, unnaturally just solid. But in this, you can see that Percy isn't, like, oh, the best ever, but he's still, like, he's good, but he's not the best, but he's not unnaturally good. It's only here near the water that he's able to do this. No magic flag. Not even a hand-painted flag. Oh, love it. The music, just the trident over his head. And this shot, I mean, look at it. This cabin is so beautiful.
of war. He doesn't return the ball.
I know I've been saying that they've been changing scenes up to make Luke look better.
There will be war.
But then you have moments like this which almost make Chiron look worse. I mean, like how he leads with "your father needs your help," where it's like, no, the world's gonna be in like massive warfare and death and destruction if you don't do this. Can't wait to see the Oracle in the next episode. Also, I talked with Ari in a bit about what was in the show, what was gonna happen, and until an article about like last week, I didn't realize that Argus wasn't gonna be in the show. I mean, and obviously he's clearly someone you can easily cut, but you still miss him, the camp security guard with covered in eyeballs. And that was episode 2, I Become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom. Unfortunately, I don't know when I'll be able to see the next episode because next week I'm going to be going on a multi-week trip to India. And it's going to be a pretty busy trip, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do my janky reactions with my phone and a laptop. But we'll see. I mean, you won't see until I'm back because I definitely won't be able to edit any of those reactions there. It's gonna be really frustrating to have to wait and not watch the episodes. It's one of the unfortunate parts, let's say, of deciding that I want to record my reactions and share them with you and watch these shows on YouTube because, well, I can't watch them alone the way I usually used to. Right? Like, even if I was in India, I would watch them on my phone if I really wanted to watch them, but not exactly possible. As for the episode itself, I said my piece. I really love what they're doing here. I really love that it may not be a precise one-to-one adaptation, it still carries on the spirit of Percy Jackson. I can't wait to see the rest of it. Over here is the next reaction whenever that comes out. Over here is a playlist of my videos, and on my face is the subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe, criticize even. I don't mind. See ya.